So hey guys, and welcome to the Random Watch Dude channel. If you haven't watched any of my videos before, my name's Mark. I'm just a random watch dude, and I just record videos from time to time plotting my watch journey through this devilishly tempting hobby that is collecting watches, full of blasphemy and heresy, and we quite often find ourselves having to pay penance, as I am at the moment in my Rolex purgatory. And speaking of which, here I am today with my Rolex GMT Master 2. This is the left-handed Riddler version of the GMT Master 2. But I'm not actually going to talk about mechanical watches today. I'm going to talk about a smartwatch. So here we go. I really have committed heresy because I've just bought myself a Samsung Watch 6, which is a Galaxy smartwatch. Now, in previous videos, in one particular video actually, I talked about how smartwatches were the devil in the society that we live in today. Because how many times have you been sat there talking to somebody and they've got one of these fancy smartwatches on, and all of a sudden you're talking to them, having a good bit of face-to-face, eye-to-eye contact, and all of a sudden, you know, you hear this little buzz on their wrist, and they stop talking to you and they look down at, excuse me, and they get their watch out and they start pressing buttons, and before you know it, you've completely lost them. This conversation you were having is completely gone because their watch is suddenly more important than you. And how many times has that happened to you guys? And this is one of the reasons why I've never really fancied a smartwatch in my life, because I kind of see it as a bit of a distraction. And also, you know, I carry my my Samsung Galaxy phone with me everywhere. That does everything a smartwatch does. Why would I possibly want to have a watch and a phone? But guys, yeah, today I'm making a video about the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6, which is this watch on my wrist here. I am going to cut to a close-up review of the watch during the course of this video, and then I'll cut back to the chair again at the end and just talk about a summary. But before I cut to the actual review of the watch itself, which I've had for 4 days now, I just wanted to explain to you guys why I ended up buying a smartwatch as a mechanical quartz watch enthusiast collector. Why did I, particularly after suggesting that wearing a smartwatch was an unnecessary distraction, why did I buy one? Well, in a nutshell, guys, I bought myself a smartwatch purely for the health benefits that it brings. So the great thing about these smartwatches, guys, is they come absolutely loaded, and I'll show you in the close-up review that I do in a minute. They come absolutely loaded with little gadgets and widgets that track your health. So they track your heart rate, blood pressure, ECG, the amount of steps that you're taking, and your beats per minute, your heart rate. They are monitoring your stress levels. So all of these apps that are loaded onto this watch and are controlled via my phone, because my phone and my watch talk directly to each other. These are the reasons I bought this smartwatch, guys. I didn't buy it because I wanted to have some little fashion accessory piece of man jewellery, which is essentially all this is, the Rolex. I bought this purely for the health benefits. You know, I'm a guy, you know, that's just turned 50, and I'm having to keep a close eye on my my blood pressure. I'm very conscious of my stress levels, and my heart rate's important to me, just to understand, you know, what's going on with my body, and trying to stay fit and healthy. And another one of those things, guys, in regards to trying to stay fit and healthy, is that, as you all know, sleep is a critical component of health. And for me, you know, being able to understand and monitor my sleep patterns is also really important to me. So for that reason, guys, I've bitten the bullet, I've committed heresy, and as an avid mechanical watch enthusiast, I've bought myself a Samsung Galaxy smartwatch. So, you know, it's heresy, isn't it? And so I want to spend the rest of this video just trying to explain to you guys how such a fickle watch collector as myself can end up in this situation where I'm singing the praises of this wonderful piece of equipment. So I'm going to cut to the video now, guys, to a short review of the watch, purely to talk to you about the health benefits and the reasons I've bought this watch. And when we finish that, we'll just cut back to the chair again, and I'll just summarize. I'm going to do a Rolex versus smartwatch comparison for you to finish the video. So see you at the end, guys. Cheers. Okay guys, so here we are, and I've got both watches side by side now. I've got the Watch 6, the Galaxy Watch 6, and I've got the Rolex GMT Master 2 left-handed Sprite. So the Watch 6, which I'm going to focus on just for the section of this video, the Watch 6 has got a 44mm diameter. This is a sapphire glass. This is the back of the watch here. This is a flat sapphire glass, basically. So what it gives you is a very, very narrow profile, actually. What looks like a big watch is actually very narrow. All the good stuff's on the back here, of course. So on the back here, it's a very pretty looking back, really. It kind of looks like a giant eye, a giant electronic eye. I can almost imagine this being, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator eye, you know, that suddenly turns red. And it does frequently turn red because it's got a little infrared beam of light shoots out of there to measure your blood pressure. But all the good stuff that the watch is doing is happening here, basically. One of the things I'd like to point out, and this is something that I think a lot of us mechanical watch lovers would enjoy looking at, is this quick release mechanism here for the strap, you know, to basically retract the spring bar. So that you can pull this strap off. It's very, very easy. You just push that in there. It's spring loaded, pulls the spring bars in, and off comes the strap. So that's a really, really nice mechanism. I also really love this strap. It's a lovely. I don't think it's silicone. It's even more supple than silicone in some respects. It's a lovely, malleable, elastic, stretchy strap. It really helps the watch stick to your wrist. And I'll just stick it on my 7.25-inch wrist here, just to show you more interestingly how the strap actually attaches. Because when I first put this on, I thought, well, how does this work? Where's the keeper that, you know, that holds this flappy bit down? And then I realised you actually just tuck it into this slot here, and it sits underneath the main piece of strap. So it actually sits up against your wrist rather than held by a keeper, which a standard leather or rubber strap would do on a normal watch. And guys, it works really well. It looks good. It's nice and tidy, and I think it works really well, and it also helps just pull the watch a little bit tighter to your wrist as well. So yeah, it's a nice looking watch. I mean, it's not amazing, it's just it's quite sleek and quite contemporary, I guess. It's aluminium, the main case, sapphire top, sapphire bottom. But what I wanted to do more than anything, guys, was just show you the health benefits that I was talking about this watch. So I'll just stick it on quickly. And if you excuse these lines that you see going across the top here, I think that's just the feedback from the digital sensors on this camera phone, and how it's sort of playing up with the feedback on the watch face. But I'll just swipe left, as they say. And so this screen here, this is my first helpful piece of information about my sleep. So this is telling me that last night I had 7 hours 52 minutes of sleep, and they rate that as excellent. And then I can break that down, and it will tell me that my actual sleep time was 7 hours 22 minutes. It will show me here in a nice little visual graph what my sleep stages were, because you have stages of sleep. I had 4 stages of sleep last night. And what it's telling me here also is it's breaking it down and saying I was awake for half an hour. I had 1 hour and 37 minutes of REM sleep. I had 4 hours 19 minutes of light sleep, and 1 hour and 26 minutes of deep sleep. Now I've learned since I started sort of looking at what all this means is your REM sleep, your rapid eye movement sleep, is actually critical, because that's the time when your brain is processing everything that's happened that day and everything that's on your mind. So all those really weird dreams that you have are actually really, really important to help you get going again for the next day, because it's when your brain is essentially just filing all that information. What else have I got here? I've got the total time that when I was asleep, the total time that my blood oxygen level dropped under 90% was 0, which is where it should be. And my skin temperature ranged from 32.8 to 36.3. So this is really, really useful information for those of you that might be having sleeping problems as well, is that you can actually monitor in great detail, you know, what your sleep actually looks like. The second thing that I want to, let me just go back here. The second thing that I want to take a look at is there's my steps. So I've got some work to do today, guys. I've only done 2,100 steps, and it's past lunchtime, so I've got some work to do there. What else? My heart rate, there you go, 62 beats per minute. I can actually set this to monitor my heart rate constantly, or I can set it to monitor my heart rate every 10 minutes. Now, for the sake of saving the battery, I've got it monitoring my heart rate every 10 minutes. So the last time it checked my heart, it was at 62 BPM. I can also measure my blood pressure, and this is a really useful tool for me. And I will, just for the sake of this video, I will quickly show you how that works, because it's the most important part really for me of the watch, is being able to measure my blood pressure, because of course your blood pressure just tells you so much about what's going on really with your body, doesn't it? Because you know, let's say even if you're just dehydrated, for example, your blood pressure will drop, and so blood pressure is a really good early indicator of lots and lots of different medical issues. So I'm going to measure my blood pressure, and before I do that, the watch gives me a little warning about the fact that hey, do not interpret or make clinical decisions based on the health monitor without consulting a doctor, basically. And that's so every time you take a blood pressure reading on here, it'll give you that little caveat. Now I'm going to remain quiet whilst I'll do this, because I have to be quiet and sit still. So I'm just going to press this button now, and it will measure my blood pressure. There we go. So my blood pressure, the perfect sweet spot apparently for blood pressure, and it does vary, is 120/80, and I'm currently at 125/78, which is, yeah, it's pretty good. It's about where you want to be really. And what else am I finding out here? So my beats per minute, heartbeat went up to 79 whilst we were taking that blood pressure check. Now that's not unusual for your beats per minute to increase slightly from a resting spot, if you like, you know, particularly if I'm doing something like this where I'm recording a video and concentrating hard and talking, you know, consumes a lot of energy, and your heart rate increases slightly because you're having to think really hard. So that's really good, guys. And I could take my blood pressure rating, I could take it every hour, every couple of hours, you know, every day. And that's the great thing about this watch, is that you can just do that on the fly pretty much. What else have I got here? I can do a stress test, so it's monitoring lots of vital signs, putting that information together, and it can tell me how stressed I am. So right now, so here's the scale from basically asleep, you know, to about to have a heart attack, and I'm, you know, kind of, where am I? You know, about, well, I'm in a pretty good spot there, I'd say. You know, that's pretty unstressed, I think. That's not a bad place to be, is it? So, you know, they're the key reasons, guys. You know, these are the really nice, easy tools that I can use, you know, to just monitor my health. It's the main reason that I bought this watch. And, guys, what I'm going to do now, because it's not a review, it's just a quick overview and just giving you an idea of what I'm using this watch for, I'm just going to skip back to the chair now and finish off with a quick summary. Right, so there we are then. There's the very quick, crude and dirty review of the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6. And really, guys, as you'll appreciate, I wasn't here to, you know, talk to you about all the great things that the watch can do in terms of its connectivity and the apps, and you know, being able to check your emails and all the notifications that you get. And I've turned all of that off, all the buzzing and humming and vibration that you can get from this watch. I've turned all of that off, guys, and I'm focusing purely on the health benefits that this watch is going to provide me. And certainly over the last 4 or 5 days that I've been wearing this pretty much 24/7, I have absolutely seen some great benefits from wearing a smartwatch. So I kind of wanted to finish the video by talking about whether I feel that that it's changed my view on mechanical watches. So here we are. We've got one on each wrist. So has it changed my view towards mechanical watches? And I would actually say to a degree, yes, it has, just in the last 4 or 5 days that I've been wearing this watch. How has it changed my view? It's made me realise, actually, just wearing this 24/7, which I have, on this lovely, supple, really comfortable band that it comes on, it's made me realise, actually, how anxious my mechanical watches make me relative to when I'm just wearing this. So when I'm wearing this, I don't feel like I'm wearing a piece of man jewellery, which is essentially what a mechanical watch is. A luxury Rolex mechanical watch like this is just a piece of man jewellery. When I'm wearing this watch, I don't feel anxious. I don't get rotation anxiety. It's purely a tool watch. And to be fair, I mean, let's be honest, this is probably how what we consider to be Swiss luxury watches now, this is probably how they felt back in the 60s and 70s, you know, when these watches were actually being used properly as tools and nothing else. That's probably how these watches felt. They probably felt like the modern day smartwatch. You never considered it a piece of jewellery. You actually used it as a tool, and it was just a tool. Has it changed my view? Absolutely, yeah. It's made me realise even more how kind of superfluous and useless, these watches really are. And we kid ourselves, really, don't we, by saying it's a tool watch. I use it for timing my eggs, and I use it for monitoring, understanding what the time is in Tokyo when I'm in Los Angeles. That's why I must have a GMT function, because I need to know what the time is in Tokyo. It's all bull, really, isn't it? I mean, the reason we like these watches is because they're man jewellery, and they might evoke a certain feeling in us, and get some dopamine chemicals pumping around the body every time you get a new one, and that we can convince ourselves that it's perfectly logical and sensible to drop 15-20 grand on one of these pieces of man jewellery, which, let's be honest, doesn't even tell the time particularly accurately compared to one of these, which tells the time perfectly accurately 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So to compare these two watches is to basically say, on the one hand, I've got a tool watch, a modern day tool watch, which actually potentially could even save my life. I can even set this so that if it can detect that I've had a hard fall, it will call the emergency services for me. That's a tool watch. This, jewellery, absolute 100%, nothing else but really, really expensive jewellery, guys. That's my view on it. Has it changed my mind? Is it going to make me, has this watch made me lose interest in this? Absolutely not. I'm still an absolute watch nerd, guys. I'm a watch nutter. I'm a watch dude. I will continue to collect watches and spend very, very unnecessary amounts of time during the day just thinking about watches. I'll probably wake up every morning still thinking about watches. But what it has made me realise is that this is just vanity and jewellery. This is a modern day tool watch, and I think that's really how I want to finish this video, guys. Is when we talk about tool watches in this hobby, I think we're kidding ourselves, really, because the ultimate modern day tool watch is one of these, and they cost about 30 times less than this piece of jewellery. Let me know what you think, guys, in the comments. I'd be really keen to hear what your views and thoughts are on smartwatches, particularly from those of you who have always maybe in the past been avidly against them. Let me know what you think, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Cheers.